Welcome to the neighborhood, Hapi Hood The Podcast, where we deliver meaningful content to grow your faith, well-being, and leadership skills. Hey neighbor, I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, lifestyle coach, inspiring others to develop self-worth through leadership applications that will enable them to live in purpose. Hapi Hood The Podcast.
Finish
Message.
what you started.
Of the brand. And as small businesses, entrepreneurs, it is so important that we help others, or we provide the why behind what we do, right? And tell our brand story, because that's how people connect. They connect to your brand because, again, there's so many people that's probably doing the same thing that we're doing. But like, why do I come to your business? Why do I go on your page? It's because of your brand. It's because your brand is so important because, again, it's how people connect. It provides others to understand the experience, the relationship that they have with you. So I'm going to pass this mic. If y'all can, again, just because as people was clapping, they may not heard your name, but if you can just kind of provide your name and your business.
So what's happening, everybody? I am one half of Xcel, also known as the best damn nutrition bar.
All right.
I'll go ahead and let y'all know we got some for resale. So once we finish recording, feel free to partake. And the other half, my baby.
All right.
My everything. Introduce yourself, baby.
I'm Alonna, and we are here with Xcel, and clearly I'm the other half of it, and I love you back, baby. We brought you guys some samples as well, so we already talked about any kind of dietary restrictions.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm N.O. Gordon, and I am here with Reference Me, a founder and co-owner with my husband here, Gerald Gordon.
Hello everyone, I'm super excited to be here. I am one half of the duo, and we are here representing Reference Me.
So you can stay with that mic. I'm gonna grab this mic here. So as you can see, it was a theme up here, right? It was a theme around I am the one half of the brand. This is a husband and wife team. This is a husband and wife team that's doing this. Come on now. Come on. That's huge. That is huge because I have been married for 17 years. And shout out to my better half. Thank you. And Toya Murray, in which she's the owner of J&L Designs. So you can definitely go check her out on her Instagram page. If you want to take your event to the next level, definitely go to jldesign.com. Did I do that right, baby?
JL Designs Online.
jldesignsonline.com. Thank you. So I guess like if we start with here with this, you created a company, you teaming up together. Let's start with Reference Me. Like what is Reference Me?
Hi everyone, we're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us. So Reference Me is a company that is working to help people to get hired faster. Jay, do you want us to go right into it?
What? Not just. I mean, we can just start there, like what it is.
Okay.
And then we'll get into some of the why.
Sure. We've created a platform basically to assist job seekers as well as employers with the hiring process. And we're a brand that is wanting people to feel secure when they walk into the hiring environment, and then also want employers to also know that the candidates that are walking through their doors have been validated and that they are the best candidate for the position when they show up with Reference Me as their support.
There's not much for me to add to that. That's exactly what we have, but what I will do is plug the website. It's www referenceme.ai, and it's live, so you can go there and start using it right away.
Great. So moving to Xcel, the best damn nutritionist bar. Like, what is that?
Well, we the best.
Okay.
So it's a vegan and gluten-free nutrition bar, right? So anybody who's ever had any sort of meal bar, nutrition bar, might not have a good connotation of how they taste, because a lot of them just have that chalky, dry, it just doesn't taste like real food. It feels like eating cardboard, right? So we here to change the narrative, right?
Yeah.
Healthy does taste good. So our bars, once you get to actually experience those, you'll realize that it actually tastes like real food. It's actually a quality food product that you can actually enjoy, and by the way, it just happens to be healthy for you. So whether you're into a healthy lifestyle or not, everybody likes good food, and that's what we do, is provide a good quality experience.
That's what I'm
What
talking
you want
about.
to add to that, baby?
I pretty much think that you said it all. What I will always say is I love how he sells the brand. Right?
Okay.
Everybody wants to be to the point where you don't have to be in person to sell your brand, and that's hard to bottle up. But,
Yeah.
I always appreciate his exuberance and his passion, because that is the brand. So we're always trying to excel.
Is that just to kind of stay on that, as you mentioned, it's kind of like his motivation. Like I'm curious, as I'm now just kind of processing this in my head, husband and wife team. Like, was it one person that just came up with? Well, I'm gonna phrase that. Who came up with the idea first, and then was it like who motivated the other to say, okay, let's do this?
Are you ready for the story?
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, so actually, to start it off, is he started the business and we are building it together.
Okay.
All right, so how Xcel was created, one morning he was having oatmeal. Now, I am very transparent, I think oatmeal is nasty. Right? But he likes it. He wanted to be able to have some chopped dates, but all we had was pitted dates. All he actually had was pitted dates, because at that point in time I didn't really fancy with the dates. So he had pitted dates, and he put it into a food processor, hoping to add some razzle dazzle, and thinking that it was going to give him the chopped dates, gave him a gooey substance. So in that moment, I think I coined him a food scientist, because in the effort of not being wasteful, he took the gooey substance, he added in some of the dry products, right? The oats, and try different fruits, and that is actually how Xcel was birthed. It was not on purpose, but a lot of times accidents are turned into and birth beautiful things. So ingenuity is how the nutrition bars were created. Ingenuity,
Innovation, that's how a lot of businesses are created. With Reference Me, was it one person that thought about like we should do this, and was another person again motivating the other?
With Reference Me, I had the idea some years ago, and then I shared it with my husband. And honestly, he has taken it to levels that I didn't even imagine that it could be. I just wanted my problem to be solved that I had, so I saw it as like this one-dimensional thing of when I go up to a job interview, I want to be able to have my references with me, so I don't have to keep asking people for references. And my husband has taken it to a whole different level of making it into a platform that is addressing so many other issues for when people are going for job interviews.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. That it was definitely my wife who came up with the idea, but as we'll talk a little bit more, there was a problem that she was having, and that problem resulted in us thinking differently about how others may have the same issue. You realize that when you're starting a business off of a need, that's something that people have been struggling with, but then you create a solution for that, that really talks a lot about the ingenuity, looking at a problem and solving it. But the beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you're interested in doing it for other people. Because my wife could have just said, build this for me, it would have been just for her. But she saw the need that we can help others who are going through the same process. And so really excited about what we built and how we're gonna be able to help millions and millions of people in their process of looking for employment.
Now, one thing to add there, because I know you all story, right? And I want to make sure that the audience here, as well as the individuals that will be listening to this, that they understand the story, the problem. So, like, what was the problem that was occurring?
Yeah, so how many people here, of course, have shown up to a job interview, or even people who are listening? When you go to your job interview, after your job interview is over, they usually ask you for your references. I had just graduated from college. My other thing that I do is I'm a physical therapist. And so graduating from college, I went for a job interview, and after each interview, they would ask for my references. Well, when you have people that you know are going to speak highly about you, right? You keep listing the same people over and over for these potential employers to contact. And so after a while, it can get a little bit daunting, a little bit embarrassing. You don't know when they're gonna call the person up. And so that was my situation. I had listed someone as a reference, and each time they were being called, and at one of those times, my potential employer called a person before I could tell them, hey, just be on the lookout, you may be getting a call. And the response that I received, although they wanted to be supportive, was a little like, as if they were a little bit annoyed, because you don't know when they're gonna call the person to ask to be your reference, right? To ask questions about you. And so going through that process, I shared with my husband that this is really a problem that people do have. Wouldn't it be nice if when you go into your interview, you already have your references with you, people backing you up, so that you don't have to keep listing the same people, and they don't have to get 5 calls from 5 different companies. They can do it once, and that's it. So that's the problem that Reference Me is solving for people. I'm really passionate about helping families, especially, when you're looking for a job, it's already an anxious time. You can be nervous, you can be anxious about, is that opportunity going to work for you? We want to give people a leg up when they walk into that room. We want them to feel secure that they've done everything that they could have done in advance when they show up for that interview.
Give a hand on that, because I think one of the biggest things as entrepreneurs, and this is something that we have to always be mindful is, as we start, right, is the problem that we're looking to solve. And I think, again, when you're talking about a brand, one of the reasons why people connect to a brand is the why. Because the problem that you encounter, like, just from a show of hands, have anyone encountered that problem? Where you had to go back to someone, get another reference, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people just in this room have encountered that problem. And once people understand the problem that you were looking to solve, and now you're giving them the how you're going to solve it, that's the essence. That is truly the essence. So with Xcel, like, when you think about, again, going back to the problem, what do you feel like the problem that you all were looking to solve?
Initially, I wasn't even really trying to solve the problem, other than I wanted some chopped dates in my oatmeal.
Hey, that was a problem.
Yeah.
That was a problem.
Because it was a microscopic problem.
Yeah.
So that was initially it, but then taking it from just an idea to building a business out of it, the problem that we then realized was, there's thousands and thousands of bar products, nutrition bars, protein bars, meal bars out there, but most of them don't taste good. Mm-hmm. Like, we even went to a whole trade show that was centered around natural products, bars, and all that. We're walking around tasting them like, this ain't even hitting like ours is. Mm-hmm. But ours tastes better. But what's the difference between all these other brands out there that have been out there for years, decades, however long, and us? It's exposure, right? So that is one of the things that we're working to overcome is great product. How do we get the masses to know about it? But bringing it back to your question on what the problem was, is that providing a healthy, quality food that actually tastes good. There's not a lot of options out there for that.
When you think about the problem again, as you mentioned, as far as like getting exposure, what made that such a problem, or what made it challenging?
Well, I'll start it off and then I'll let Baby finish up. People usually buy what they know, not necessarily because it's the best product out there, right? I mean, it's I think Jada Kiss had a line in one of his songs, "It's Cali up north better than Jordan that didn't get that break." It's exposure. What?
That's
For all
cool.
those who are Jada Kiss fans.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the only one, but nonetheless, you know, when people recognize a brand, they'll stick to it just because they know, trust, and belong to that brand. Like even if a brand ain't doing the best by us as the customer, we'll still buy it because it's that brand loyalty, right? But when you're the new kid on the block, you're trying to steal these customers away from other brands that they've been in a relationship with for most of their life. So that is a challenge that we are still working to overcome and really tap into.
Good.
What you got to add, baby?
And then it's 2024, right? So selling is not the same that it was before. So you can get into a store, right? We're in the Rhino Market. We're in Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania. But retaining customers, right? A lot of your selling now means that you have to be on social media. People have to know you. Your story is not just what's written on the back of the package anymore. You have to actually embody your story. They want to know, who you are, and showcase that. And you can do that, right? But how do you reach the masses and still have some privacy where you're selling your actual product without, because for instance, right, selling food is a little harder to sell who you are because you're trying to sell a food product, right? So what kind of skits do you do on Instagram? How do you get people's attention? Because in the world that we live in an instantaneous society, right? So it always looks like something just happens overnight. Meanwhile, we're trying to put in our 10,000 hours now, right? To bring as much awareness to the product as possible. And then we're not real big social media people. Like, we're millennial people, but I don't want to have to do a cartwheel for you to, see the. I mean,
Come on, no, that's serious.
Like,
that's facts.
We want to sell you something that is good for your toddler, right? My father's a diabetic. The sugars that are in the bar come from the dates, so you're getting a lot of carbohydrates in that, right? The fiber, and it tastes good, right? There's moisture. We're using organic dark chocolate. We're not using any preservatives, right? Yeah. So how do you push that when the person that's right next to us is selling donuts and nobody's ostracizing how much sugar is in the donut? But when they come to the table and they see the bar, they're like, but if I was offering you a drink, you don't count those calories.
Oh, did that hit home for somebody? Did that hit home for somebody?
So it's been a very interesting dichotomy to just make sure that we can be who we are without sacrificing our integrity in the business, and to continue to make tracks here in Charlotte, in our home, and then, we want to be a global brand. Not we want to be, we will be, right?
Come on.
We want to continue to speak that into existence, but learning how is a very interesting thing, because a lot of things that you do will try to put you in a box to be cookie cutter, and we want to be unique within our brand. So.
Yeah. You are listening again to Hapi Hood The Podcast live. And this segment of the podcast has been sponsored by Sekayi Essentials. Sekayi Essentials is all-natural pantry ingredient body care products, body wash, hand and body scrub, lotion bar. You can see Torre in the back. Wave your hand. All right, give her a hand. And then one of our sponsors for the event. I also want to give another shout out, another sponsor that has been sponsored for this segment, Charlotte Business Directory. Harold Thompson in the back. You can go register your business with them. You can increase your visibility and attract new customers. And you can also go back to the Lavish and Tasty in the back. She makes cakes. Tish, wave your hand. Tish had the cakes back there. That's a husband and wife duo as well. I want to kind of thank you for providing that. Because again, on the social media thing, and first of all, who's an entrepreneur in here? Wave your hand. Okay, so pretty much everybody, almost everybody. And one thing about, social media, and this is something that I had to learn, I'll get that, is really understanding what I can delegate. And the way that I delegate is based on things I don't like. I don't like the social media thing because it's a task for me. And anything that's a task, it becomes, I'm not interested in it because it's not something that is part of my passion. Like me, I like doing this right here. I like working on my clothing. Those things I love to do. I'm a creator. But when it comes to doing the social media, it's such a task. And learning what to delegate is so important as entrepreneurs because we can't do everything. Okay? We can't do everything. And once we understand, like, okay, I can delegate things that I don't like. I have no passion in doing that, right? I have no passion in that. So that's a little tidbit that I just wanted to highlight as you was talking. Going to Reference Me, when you think about the problem, and I'm going to say the speed, what's the word? Speed of execution, speed to the market. Because a little bit about you all's story is that this problem that you encountered was like years ago. It was years ago. But it took a while for it to get to the market. Like, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I didn't graduate. I'm not going to date myself too much, but I didn't graduate last year or anything like that, but I've been a physical therapist for over 20 years. And so when I graduated, it was like 2003, around then. And I would say it took like a couple of years. I had to pass my boards and all of that in a couple of years. So this idea is, I would say like 15, at least minimum of 15 years old. I had told my husband the idea. But I think it's important to understand that sometimes you can have a great idea and you don't know when it is that it's going to be brought into fruition, that it's going to manifest.
Message.
So don't just say, well, you know what, it didn't happen then, so it's not going to happen now. In fact, after having the idea, my husband actually built the application maybe about, like 5 years or so ago. But when he built the application, it didn't quite meet what I had envisioned. So it was my vision of how the problem was going to be addressed for people. And when he built the platform, he was talking about healthcare and these aspects of the program that didn't quite match the problem that I had encountered. So it had to touch, I think, my emotion relating to the issue that I was having. And I'll have to actually share with you guys with Xcel here how I can really, the issue that you're solving resonates with me. It's when someone is solving a problem that resonates with you, the way in which you're going to take that solution is going to be different.
Yeah.
So he came up with the application. It didn't quite resonate with me, and so I had basically like no interest. And so I think, some time passed. He was working on it, and then he came back. And I think when you come back in a different way, and I'll have him share how that happened.
Yeah, I want to hear his point of view.
Yeah, how that happened for him. He came back, and it was like with this fire, he was addressing the issue that I needed to be addressed. Basically, the people aspect. It's not just the application aspect. It's not what I'm after. I'm after how is this platform that we're building going to truly impact a person when they are nervous about getting a job, nervous about getting that next paycheck. How is this platform going to help that individual. And the second time around that he's doing this, he gets it, that that's where my passion is coming from with the application.
Okay, Gerald, now let me hear your side of the story.
Me and my family, we are a big believer in how God leads us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when your idea is so small, God will let you go ahead and try things out, but you won't feel the fire or the passion or even be able to get other people engaged because you're thinking too small. So that was my problem. I was thinking too small. My wife is a physical therapist. So when I built the tool, it was like, okay, this is gonna be for physical therapists, and I'm gonna try to use lingo from physical therapists, and I'm gonna create a platform so that physical therapists can get references and get jobs. In healthcare. But that wasn't the problem. I was addressing the wrong problem. The problem was, I need to get hired, and when I need to get hired, I need to be able to bring my best self into that interview. It does not matter whether I'm in healthcare or not, and I don't need to have the website have all the lingo associated with physical therapists. This thing needs to work from the standpoint that anybody who is interested in getting hired, we help them present themselves in the best way possible. So one of the other things that I did that was a mistake the first time around is that I was using if we win, you lose. So if Reference Me is successful, then resumes are no longer needed. It was the wrong way to go about it because resumes have been around since the 1960s.
Yeah.
It is an engine that everybody in every system already uses. And here I am talking about references can replace resumes. It was completely wrong. So once you get the understanding that, wait a minute, this is an and play. It's your resume and references, not your resume or references. And this is not about healthcare. This is about getting hired faster. The whole thing changed.
I want to pause because I can't state this enough. When you said that you created something and it did not address the problem. I don't know about you, but as an entrepreneur, I had to come to the realization that I am not the customer. And once you come to that, you can remove yourself from the equation because you're not creating this for you. You're creating this for someone else. And when you're not solving a problem, and when you think about, again, your entrepreneurial endeavors, if you're not solving a problem, you just pretty much have a hobby. Just to be, you got a hobby. So when you think about, again, we're talking about the essence of the brand, and we're talking about the problem. And again, I love, and I'm gonna kind of come back to this, but you becoming aware and having and you even having the humility, like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. Because I can only imagine as a husband and wife, my husband is so passionate about this. Can I be honest to him and say, nah, sorry, buddy, that's not it. So I'm kind of curious, like, how did you go back to your wife and say, okay, is this it? And when she said, no, it's not it, did you immediately, like, how did you feel? Y'all see it. Can I go first?
Let me go first. So the truth is, even when she felt that this may not be it, what it resulted in was me not getting as much support as I wish I would have had. So I could have kept running, and which I tried to build a business and get out there and have speeches and go meet people and talk to them, but something was missing drastically. And so that's how it reflected, where she loves me, and she's like, I'll support whatever you want to do, but you go in the corner and do it. I'm not gonna be talking about it because what you built isn't really what I'm passionate about. And so this time around, I really wanted to capture the essence of what she wanted to build. One, because I wanted to build something that can really change the world.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do it alongside my better half. And so when I came about it a different way, she's on fire for it now. And we are working together to build this business, and I'm super excited about where we're gonna end up.
Yeah. It sounded like he cleaned it up a little bit.
Well, what I wanted to just add is, as my husband, when he started, he said, we are a family that really could move forward by the leading of God. And I know that this program is not about that, but honestly, to know us, for those who know us, that's what drives us. And so, one, there's the timing, and two is the understanding. Sometimes you can get information, I'm gonna say downloaded, but you don't know what you're supposed to do, and you're trying to run and you didn't even get like the full instructions. And I think that was part of the issue, that not only did he not understand what I wanted, but I don't think we were all, and when I say all, I mean like with our faith, like everything, how it was supposed to be. This time around, he went and had a consultation, not just with me, but to go and ask the one who leads us, how is this supposed to go? Will you be with us this time? Will you be with me this time? Will you be the one leading me in how we're supposed to do this? And I think that that's what has truly made the world of a difference for us.
Yeah. Listen to your wife.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of go to this thought, because as you mentioned, and again, as entrepreneurs, in which we have tons of entrepreneurs that raise their hand, is knowing your customer, okay? Knowing your customer, knowing your client, knowing the problem that you're looking to solve. And to Xcel, hey, I know you talked about far as one, there wasn't many options when it came to delicious, nutritious bars, right? Talk to us about like, how do you get feedback, and a little bit like, how do you implement, or how has you implemented feedback that you got from maybe a customer, or even things that you have, saw throughout this process that, you know what, we need to pivot on this. We need to change this up, or we need to implement this in, because this is what I'm seeing.
So one of the main things that we get asked a lot is, are we vegan? And we're not, right? So one of the questions is, well, you make a vegan product, but you guys aren't vegan. But we notice that has been a trend, like having those conscious consumers that have those more discerning tastes. Gluten sensitivities, nut sensitivities, the push for vegan lifestyles and that following. So we said, well, we don't really need to put any animal products in our bars in order to still capture that segment. So, if we did use animal products, like that would be a large segment that would be left out. Now we can incorporate pretty much all segments, as far as that goes.
The bar for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The bar for you. That's one of our taglines. And then also, one of the things that we noticed, going back to what Baby said earlier, as soon as you put that label healthy on it, people scrutinize it that much more. So people will actually read the ingredient labels, read the nutrition labels and things like that, because people want simpler ingredients.
Come on now.
Simpler, if it's something that they can't pronounce, or an ingredient that they don't regularly recognize, oh, how much sugar is in this? Oh, it's a lot of sugar in that. So, it gives us a chance to, one, educate, but two, also it makes us more selective when we're choosing ingredients. We can choose this one, we can't choose that one. Or that one has allergens in it, let's stay away from that one. Or this has added sugars in that, so let's stay away from that. So that allowed us to refine our products even more, to get it to a point to where our ingredient list is very, very simple, very easy to understand. But it goes back to, one, listening to our customer, because we started off in what we still do. We vend at farmers markets, uptown farmers markets on Saturdays. And that started on April 13th for those who are.
Say that again. When it started?
April 13th. Uptown Farmers Market, 300 South Davidson Street. It's catty corner to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So
Okay.
always catch us out there once the season starts.
Yeah.
But that gave us live feedback. Like, nobody's going to give you more direct feedback than somebody standing right in front of you eating your food. Right? So listening to that feedback, you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning, 12:30 in the afternoon, for Saturday after Saturday after Saturday after Saturday after Saturday, gave us insight onto what customers wanted, what they liked, what they didn't like. Oh, this tastes, oh, this is a health bar? I would have never known. Oh, this tastes much better than X, Y, and Z product that's on the show. So that has been one of our largest test points.
Yeah. Again, you're listening to Hapi Hood The Podcast live. This segment of the podcast has been sponsored by Skyhaus Media. My good man Darren Anderson, raise your hand, my brother. Skyhaus Media, digital content strategist. So anything that you need, regardless of your business, personal, definitely go check out Skyhaus Media. This segment has also been brought to you by Faith Release Publishing. Raise your hand, Jerome. Specialized in graphic design and photography. Definitely go check him out. I want to kind of talk about, and again, as you know, all these entrepreneurs that's in the house, right? When you think about your entrepreneur journey, again, it's not linear, right? It's a lot of ups, a lot of downs. It's more downs. You know what I'm saying? And it's even like, oh, can I'll share this, right? And it's full transparency, because we're gonna talk about challenges, right? One thing that I feel, and again, as I have reflected, as almost like a blues clue, right? That a good indication, because I think entrepreneurship is such a calling, it's a sign, it's a purpose that's on your life, is that when you have moments, or let me say this, experiencing moments of I want to quit. If you have an experienced moment that you want to quit, I'm a question if you really want to do it. Because when I think about, like, again, something that you're passionate about, if you're not having moments of, like, where you hitting your head on the wall, that it's not just a clean process, oh, we just do this, and now we have arrived. Those moments of quitting, and again, it may not be quitting, but moments of like, you know what, the hell with this. I don't think I'm gonna do this anymore. Or maybe this is not it, where you get disappointed. It is in those moments where you have to go back and reconnect to your why, to the problem that you're solving, to why you're even doing this in the first place. Because for me, it was those moments of helping me to kind of like, oh, I lost that, right? I call it like passion fatigue. When you're doing a lot of things and you just like, your passion just runs out and you need to get refueled, you know? And yes, you're gonna have moments you can be like, yeah, I don't wanna do this no more. I don't think this is working. I'm not seeing the results that I thought that I should be seeing now. My expectation that this was gonna be X, Y, Z, and it didn't happen. I don't wanna do this no more. Was there ever a moment throughout you all's process that you be like, I don't want to do this no more?
Yeah, I'll comment on that.
Yeah.
All right, so what I will say is my candle did go out when we first built it and built the tool, and I realized we went all over the place talking about our idea. That was probably 7 or 8 years ago. I just stopped. Like, we just stopped everything. Felt like this wasn't the direction for us to go. It was only, by the way, we launched on March 15th, so we just launched.
Come on, give him a hand,
Launched the product. And that took 5 to 6 years later. So
Say that again.
yeah, it took 5 to 6 years later. So we went through the first process and went all out. I poured everything I had into it, and it didn't work out the way that we thought. So we just stopped. And then 5 years later, a new way of looking at this, situations changed. God literally said, try me again.
Yeah.
And everything was ignited. And so for us, it's not just, I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't think we were going to go down this path.
Mm-hmm.
And for us to walk down the same path, but this time with this renewed view that this is going to work, it's a whole different feeling. So I got both sides. One side of grinding, meeting people, going to facilities, doing the pitch, sharing with people, and just getting shut down, to now things are out there, we're excited, and we now have a new way of looking at this, and no desire to stop.
Yeah.
And that's really, really a different view.
Yeah. I definitely, I call those like those valley moments, you know, because there's certain things that only grow in the valley. It doesn't grow on the mountaintop, and you need those valley moments because it helps you. That's growth. Even through in the season of the disappointments, that's growth. You know, I'm sorry, I just got back on my soapbox.
Well, I think the common theme that I'm hearing is that we're all God-fearing, right? So I think that we all understand that God is going to make room for our gifts, and that it's seasonal, right? So it's just, like you said, in the valley, right? If we plant a seed, there's just a process for it to come to fruition. I'll let you speak. I can't say that I've gotten to a place where I've wanted to quit. And I think that when we start getting overloaded with business and work and family, we go on vacation. If you like, we do a change of location, but we always do some kind of ideation while we're away as well, right? Ideation to look into different things. But my transparency is I never wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? So love led me to this. I believe in his dreams.
Hey, I'm about to say, love. Is that a song? Is that a song? Love led me to this.
You can't take him nowhere. But in transparency and truth, right? Love led me to entrepreneurship. I am very good in my role of support. So for a long time, I'm like, I'm gonna play the background. Like, what you need? I'm here. You know, I'm at the first farmers market. You know, we find this stuff. We're developing things together. But I'm always okay with being the role of support and not being in the forefront. And then he kept pushing it a little further and a little further. But what I would say is, even falling into it, just like the bars came out of, you know, an accident. There was ingenuity. When you believe in somebody else's dreams, your passion gets ignited as well, right? So. Loving him makes it our dream and our vision. So the balance is when I get discouraged from the no's and the doors being closed or things just not taking off as quickly as we want them to, not instantaneous, but just when you feel like we put in the work. We're seeing people just do things that, you know, are crazy for social media just to get the attention. And, you know, we want to go a more wholesome route. So when it doesn't come together the way that we want it to, right, we want to see ourselves exactly where we want to be quicker. It's easier to continue to keep going because the no's inspired him, right? So it continues to be a driving force where he's a little more mild manner. I'm like, no, because we had an incident real quick, right? I like to be very bold. So we went to Park Expo in Philadelphia. And while we were there for the few days Expo, Wyclef Jean was one of the performers. So we made sure to get him a bar. We made signs, went the old school route. In the middle of his performance, he got on stage and he tried our bar. And he bigged us up and he was like, we're gonna make them go viral. That was a brilliant, beautiful moment for us, right? That was, you can't even imagine what that looks like to get your product in the celebrities in, and they try it in real time. And then we've had celebrities leave our bar sitting somewhere after you gave it to them. So as a human, like Erykah Badu, I'm sensitive about my creativity, right? Working through that, it just teaches you so much humility in the business.
What you want to add, brother?
Let me see. So in this endeavor, I never had the moment where I wanted to quit because I got so much confidence. We got so much confidence and faith in it that even when we have those moments of discouragement, because we do have those, right?
Yeah, totally.
Moments of discouragement.
Yeah, totally.
But I look at it like, you know, we drew up this play, but this one didn't work. But we ain't gonna quit the game.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna stop pursuing that Super Bowl just because this one play didn't work. We're gonna figure out where we need to come back to the drawing board and figure it out and make sure it does work, right? So I always look at the thought of, once we get to the point of where we're trying to go, all these no's will eventually turn back to yeses. Those doors that were once closed will be reopened. And sometimes no isn't a final, sometimes no is not right now. So I always keep that fire behind me. They all on me.
Yeah.
So
Mike Jones.
So yeah, I would say that's where it's at. The no's inspired me because all my life I had to fight. So you know, just looking at the journey of where we've come from to where we are now, it's like this time last year, year before that, like we didn't necessarily have the idea that we'll be sitting doing a live podcast or have our bar in a college or, you know, even in stores in Charlotte. So we look at the progress, and you know what? We further along than we thought we might have been, you know, a few years ago, even before we had the idea of it. So imagine what we're going to be 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now. The only thing that's going to stop us is us.
Come on now, come on. Again, you are listening to Hapi Hood The Podcast live. We are live at Do Greater. And this segment of the podcast has been sponsored by J&L Designs. Latoya Murray, raise your hand. She's a balloon designer. You can see her art here. You can go to J&L Designs _Charlotte, her Instagram page. And this segment has also been brought to you by Integrity Performance Coaching Services. Mr. John Murray. Who's that guy? That's me. So Integrity Performance Coaching Service is a personal and business coaching service. Pretty much taking a lot of things that I learned on my job. I've been in corporate America now for 17 years, worked a lot in process improvement, and taking a moment to really provide my thought leadership to others around systems and processes, as well as my personal journey. So that is Integrity Performance Coaching Services. You can definitely check that out for more information. I want to kind of end on this note here, maybe two questions as I'm kind of thinking. First of all, let's give them a round of applause. On the podcast. As far as when you think about what you all have done, and definitely we'll get into some call to actions. Before I do that, is there anybody in the audience that have a question for one of our brands up here? Sheikah.
Hi. I'm very inspired listening to...
I'm going to do my Oprah Winfrey.
I'm very inspired by listening to you all speak about this. I actually started to tear up just listening to you speak about love bringing you to entrepreneurship and coming across it, not seeking out entrepreneurship, but finding yourself in it, and I can relate to that. So what are the conversations like in your relationships or even within yourself when you get those no's? Like, what does that self-talk look like? Because I struggle with that when I get the no's or feelings of rejection or difficulty. How do you cope with that? And I hear, kind of what we say outside, but what does it look like for you, and what do you do to get yourself back into that space? Are there conversations you have with each other or with yourselves? But just curious about that.
Who wants to take that?
I can go first. I want to say that what Alonna said also resonates with me. My personality is not, despite what you may be seeing, I'm not someone who's out there like that. I like my privacy. And I'm not naturally an entrepreneur in that way. I became one because of my husband. He is the one with the entrepreneurial spirit, the vision of, that's a call on his life. And so I can relate to being pushed way above my comfort zone. Oh, you know, honey, you're gonna be in front, this podcast is an example of me being pushed beyond my comfort zone. But then it goes back to the why. For me, it's that I love my husband so much. He, honestly, it's gonna sound cliche, but my husband has helped me to make every single dream that I have had, even as a child, to come to life. He supports me through them so that I can be the person that I was created to be, to fulfill my purpose. So then I have to think, we were put together so that his dream and purpose would also come to fruition as well. So then I have to put on whatever encouragement that is, wherever it is that you get your strength from, to be able to support him so that he also will feel fulfilled in his purpose that's on his life. There are times when I'm really uncomfortable and I have to talk to myself and also find out, where is that discomfort coming from? Is it because of your personal insecurities? Or is it something that other people may have said that stuck? And so then you have to do a positive, your own self-assessment to say, you know what, this is beyond what I would want to do, but what can I gain? What can I learn? And where can this possibly help my growth as an individual? And that's how I deal with that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Oh, please.
I wanted to ask, what is your business first?
I'm a therapist.
Oh, we love therapists.
We don't have it all together, by the way, so that's why my question.
Yeah, no, I appreciated your question because I think in the world that we live in, everybody wants to look put together, right? So our conversations look very real. In our personal life, we're very transparent. In the household, we push that. So I have a lot of decorum, right? But there are times, obviously when we go home, you know, you can just speak on how you feel. And I think that I get offended a lot quicker than he does. And he's like, no, I didn't hear it like that. I didn't say it like that. And I'm like, well, let me paint the whole picture for you. And this is what I saw. And, you know, because we cue in on different things, right? So our strengths work together in the business. But our conversations look like being very honest, putting it on the table. This is where I was offended, or this is your strength. So we're going to let you run with this, and this is where I'm at. And then we come back together and continue to work on it. But they look very, very, very much so like a tea session sometimes. Sometimes it's pillow talk. You know, sometimes it's a frustrating conversation, and then sometimes it's him kind of getting me back in order, like, you know what? It's okay that you feel like that you're the more emotional person in this moment. But we got to look at things logically as well, right? So just embracing whatever it is that is being felt in the moment, but then just making that not the forefront of why we're doing it. Because if I get too emotionally invested in something, then in a negative space, that's not really productive for where we're going. Because sometimes
I'm not going to disagree with what you said.
Because sometimes, you know, you just get a little in your feelings behind things, right? No's are not easy. Not yets are not easy either. Having belief in, like what Murray said, we're not our customers, but we're all very sensitive to our products, right?
Come on now.
So it makes it hard.
Yeah,
you know, I'm
totally.
okay if you if it's not for you, but I'm offended that it ain't for you.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
That's
like
real talk.
you have a choice. You know, this is absolutely your decision to spend your money with us, and we want to provide an experience for you. But I want your experience to be what I already thought that it should be. So sometimes just getting out of that mindset to let somebody else be free to experience it the way that they experience it is a little hard for me.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely as far as having those moments of either talking to yourself to encourage you, or to your point, I was talking to your partner, your spouse. You have another question in the back. How you doing, sir?
I'm great, Mary. Thank you for this. Thank you for putting these two powerful duo couples, right, in entrepreneurship, because it's hard by itself. And thanks for you and your wife as well. My question to both of the couples, and I kind of know one of them, but I want to hear it from them. What have you implemented the customer discovery process, or how have you implemented the customer discovery process prior to launching in your journey? And then also, if you can clarify your roles in the business and how you're moving forward, because I hear an entrepreneur, I hear a creator, and of course you're bivocational as well. So speak to that customer discovery process that you did prior to launch, and also what you're doing now, and then also your roles.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. So prior to launch, I didn't do any customer discovery. It was, okay, I got a great product. Let's push it, let's hustle. Let's just get it out there. I'm a personal trainer by trade, so that was an easy segue into kind of initially testing the market. I had an upcoming boot camp, so I said, what better place to test the market than with my own clientele? So that's what I did. Took bars to sell to my clientele, and then there was also some families out there for rec league soccer games. So I said, well, I'm gonna just hand out some samples to them and get feedback on the spot. And then got great feedback, and then from there was off to the races. So I didn't have a whole lot of formulated thoughts other than let's get it out there. So now we are in the process of doing customer discovery and really niching down and really putting an image behind what that customer looks like, so that we can kind of start small and then grow that seed up. And then repeat the second part of your question. Oh, the roles of business. The roles of business.
The roles that you guys play.
We both wear all the hats. So there isn't necessarily a defined title or role other than the owner, and now we are building this together. So that part we haven't defined. So if it's something that needs to be done, we do it, period. You know, sometimes I got to tag out and she has to tag in. Like right now, we are both participating in 2 business accelerator programs because they just happen to be on the same day at the same time. So she goes to one and I go to the other. So we both wear all the hats, but that's synonymous with our relationship too. You know, we don't necessarily have those defined roles. If it's something that needs to be done, we both do it.
Yeah. And you probably already have a role, you know, as far as what you mentioned, like you being a support. Like that's a role, because when you think about as far as like as an entrepreneur, when you get those no's, you're gonna need some support. You're gonna need that support, not just in motivating you, but just like, hey, you can do it.
And to your point, he's had previous businesses, so until the role of support was filled adequately and properly, he didn't understand what that even looked like, and that is a driving force behind being able to continue to keep that steam going.
We might be here for even more. That's we got uncover that a little bit more. We're gonna say that for another podcast. We're gonna say that for another podcast. You can't just say that. That's a whoa. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, we're supposed to be healthy.
Yeah, that's a lot, because I'm about to go there, but no, I'm gonna go a little bit, because like me and my wife been together for 17 years. And we think about like support, when you think about like love, it was moments in our marriage that I didn't know how to receive her love. And when you think about support, I didn't know how to receive that, you know, until we became more mature. So that's like, when you think about the roles, like y'all probably have roles. It just may not be well defined as like far as like documented, but you play a role within your partnership, you know, that you have. And to understand that, yo, I'm supporting you. And to your point of understand, like, yo, I do have somebody on my side that I can lean on. Because that's another thing, like, as men, sometimes you do it all. And you can't, you know? So, just get on my little soapbox. That's so real, though.
Well, partnership is important, right?
Yeah.
So, the business is actually a very interesting and intricate part of our relationship, not vice versa. Yeah. So, you know, I think that you can do business without a partner, so it's not.
Yeah.
To say that you don't have that, but even if the partner is not an intimate partner, you're always better when you're supported.
Of course.
In any, in any field that we're in, right? So even our customers, we're looking for support from them. So it just, it kind of all just ties into to one to the other.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get y'all to answer, but as a lot of entrepreneurs, tell people how they can support you. I used to make the mistake of saying, hey, support my business. What you want me to do? You want me to post something? You want me to buy something? You want me, try to be very detailed on how others can support you. So I just thought about that. The Gordons.
Sometimes I just wish I'm sitting in the chair listening to all of this, because it's the information you're getting right now in real time is extremely useful. So again, thank you for this, because I think a lot of people hearing this and also in the room can glean from what was said here. So I just want to say that out loud. I represent the CTO part of it, where I've been in engineering for over 20 plus years, everything from mechanical engineering to design and now software. And so me building something based off of an idea that my wife has, I was just super excited about it. And so I had the faculties to actually build everything from the ground up. And we don't, I try not to talk a lot about the technology because it is mostly about the people. But one thing that I'm really proud of is that our system is self-contained. Like we built everything. And we're not relying on AWS, we're not relying on Google, we're not relying on Microsoft. Like I literally built everything, the servers, all of it. So our system runs outside of all those things. Doesn't mean that I won't use them in the future, but what that does is it gives us a lot more flexibility of the things we need to do without having to get 50 other people involved and get surprise bills. So that's one. The way that we dealt with our customer segment, that wasn't an area that I was particularly good at. And so I went and paid for a marketing strategist. And I talked to them about what our business was about. And they said to me, your idea is so new that it's not going to be possible for you to promote it the way that other people promote their businesses. And I was like, well, tell me more. What do I need to do? He said, you first need to build a community. So just like we build podcasts and we build blogs and things like that, he said, you have to do a lot of explaining about what you're doing because it's so different than anything that's out there. And that resonated with me. And so that's the first thing we did. We created a value giving people understanding about how they can get hired faster even before the application was launched. And so people got involved because of our community. And then we started sharing with them. Now, because you're part of the community, you get access to the application first. You get access to the features first. You can comment on what you would want us to add. And so we built our community first and then used that as our test bed. And so we tested for like 3 or 4 months. And they just gave us feedback of change this, update this, this is great, don't understand this, that type of stuff. And that's how we market our business. And even going forward, the first thing we invite you to do is join our community. It's free. So when you go to www.referenceme.ai, join our community. And then over cycles of time, we will send you publications, things we're doing, where we're going to be at, stuff like that. And one of the newer things that I'm super excited to share is that we have an internships available. So we have 3 internships.
Hello, come on, clap that up, y'all, come on.
Yeah. So if you are interested, just take a picture of the flyer, go to the site, follow the instructions, and we're looking for 3 roles to fill. It'll be between April and June. So it's a short period of time, but you get to work with people who are actually building a business and be an integral part of what we're delivering. So we're much more than we're just gonna tell you an idea and go do it. You're gonna be on the ground floor of what it takes to actually scale a business. And so this is gonna be a great opportunity for those who are interested in the internship.
Is there an age limit? Because my daughter, she's looking for something.
So you need to be at least a junior in college, right? You're a junior in college, and you have either experience in software development, experience in entrepreneurship or business, or experience in marketing, social media. Those are the 3 roles that we're looking for.
Cool. Let's provide with Xcel, which you provide again, where people can get more information. Where can people get more information regarding Xcel?
So you can go to the website, alwaysxcel.com. That's Xcel without the E at the front. So alwaysxcel.com.
So on the shirt.
Yeah, it's also on the shirt for those who are here in the building with us. It's also on the table cover as well. And it's always Xcel on all platforms, all social media platforms, always Xcel. So you can order your products, you can find more information out about the bars. We're also in the process of doing some facelifting, some modifications to the website to make it more user-friendly and more useful for our target demographic. So there'll be some upcoming changes to that. But in the meantime, in between time, the website will always remain up and running. So feel free to check out the website, place your orders. We have subscription models where you get 20 bars or 40 bars a month for a 15% discount. And then we also do a variety box because we have 9 different flavors to choose from.
9 different flavors.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and give you the rundown.
Let's go.
So we got chocolate peanut butter. We got chocolate covered strawberry. Both of those are here today, by the way. And
Somebody
we got a
just
fan
said
here.
delicious.
She just said it's so delicious.
The strawberry got me through this couple of hours.
Yes.
Okay.
It's magically delicious.
Uh-huh.
We got coconut cashew. We got banana nut. We got cherry sunflower. We have black coffee. No sugar, no cream.
Come on now.
What am I missing? Blueberry crunch and almond bliss. That's going to remind you of an almond joy. So we got something for every palate. So regardless of what your walk of life is, we got something that can appease you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. Again, you're listening to Hapi Hood The Podcast. We are live at Do Greater. And again, I just want to thank to my audience, you first. I want to thank my participants, the business, Xcel, Reference Me for being part of the podcast. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for really just kind of working together, following your dreams, and really living a life of fulfillment. So again, thank you so much. To my people that's listening to this, again, thank you for listening to Hapi Hood The Podcast. I'm your favorite neighbor, Jay Murray, and as always, love God, love yourself, love your neighbor. I'm your neighbor, Jay Murray. Till next time, be blessed. That ends the podcast, but we definitely want to take a moment for you all to go out, network. Like I said, there's so many different entrepreneurs out here. So definitely connect with them, network with them, okay? And see what you all can build. The second thing is I want to say is that this event didn't cost anything to you, okay? It cost something to other people, okay? And if you learned something today, if something that you didn't know, something that you can apply to your own journey, I'm asking you, and this is me being very transparent, of supporting a business out here, okay? Buy some hand soaps. We got teas and tincture in the back. What's going on? Make sure you buy either a meal bar. Also, we got apparel in the back. Definitely go buy that. It really helps, right? It really helps because, again, these things that we're doing here, as far as Hapi Hood, we need your support because we want to continue to do this. This is our 4th live podcast. It's the 3rd one that we did in a year. Our first podcast we did, surprisingly, it was a week before the pandemic, in March in 2020. So since then, I've been wanting to get back in the swing of it and do it. So this is us doing it, and we're going to continue to iterate. We're going to continue to iterate. If you signed up, you will get a survey. Let us know. Did you like it? Did you not like it? It's okay. I want your feedback so we can improve this, so we can get this in a better experience for everyone. And again, as I said before, if you learn something today, if something that, hey, you can take back and apply to you, hey, one thing you can do is support a business here. Charlotte Business Directory, free sign up your business there. And again, have a wonderful day. Again, let's thank our participants. Thank you to Do Greater, Coach Mack in the back. Thank you again. And,